Where are those beads? Are they against the glass or are they in the space?
Let me look from a different perspective.
They're in space. The bottom ones are.
That's what we want. That's
The bottom ones are in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
That's what we want. We're starting to get the fly arounds. Okay. Seems like it has to get to a certain power level before it starts to really do it. We're just kind of at the threshold of that power level.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. No, your eyes don't deceive you. You just watched that. You were just witnessing probably the most important experiment that has ever been available to the public. Okay, that's Eric Dollard's cosmic induction generator. He made a fucking galaxy, a fractal galaxy. So how this works is he's got I'll throw up a schematic, but he's got two primary coils facing each other. One primary coil is wound clockwise for voltage. The other primary coil is wound counterclockwise for current. And he found that if you put a huge potential, right? So if you put a massive current and you tune this to the right frequency, he didn't say what he was transmitting at, but he said it was a high frequency. And so it's going to create this massive field. And if you put a vacuum tube inside of this field and fill it with various gases, he's used plasma, he's used hydrogen, he's used argon, those combination of gases plus he mixes a bunch of stuff together. So he's not really clear on what type of gases he's using, but he's getting amazing formations inside of these vacuum tubes. So this is an experiment that we need to go more in depth into and figure out what's going on. So I'm going to be attempting to analyze this, but essentially you are seeing a visual representation of the ether. Now, what's amazing about this experiment is Eric Dollard, you can go watch all of his interviews, he talks about it, but I'll just quickly summarize it. So he talks about this energy, this formation within the tube is conscious in a way. He describes a time where the glass shattered and the universe held its formation for about a second and then it disappeared. That's fucking crazy, and that's the magnetic force of the universe holding everything together. So that's insane. He also demonstrates in a bunch of his videos, I didn't put it up, but he demonstrates how this energy, this plasma, this whatever inside of his bulb, the galaxy, it will react with music. So if you turn on certain octaves of music, it will go crazy. It will start dancing. It'll literally look like it starts dancing. So it will react to your music. It reacts to the sound waves that are going on within within the room. And that's insane. So Eric Dollard was talking about a time where so the energy has a sort of feeling, he says. It sort of feels out everything in the room. And he told a story one time where he was working with a not-so-good person who turned out to have heinous intentions. And it seems like the galaxy sensed that. The galaxy knew that this guy was wicked. So what happened is the guy came in, the guy was watching their experiment, he was all whatever, and the galaxy ball broke and it flew all the gas at that guy. He got he got pretty fucked up from that. His face was scratched up. He had to go to the hospital. They had to get some stitches. So the galaxy knew that this guy was fucking evil. So we need to talk about counter space. If you've watched my videos, if you've watched any of my lectures, you know I kind of touched on it, but counter space is really important in order to understand the ether and how the universe works and how the ether works and how the transmission of longitudinal magnetodielectric waves works. So in that video, what you were seeing is when you saw the rotation, right? So first of all, when an electric current is applied, the ether will rotate. So I'll throw up a picture right now, but basically an electric current will make the ether form tubes of force, and these tubes of force I'm referring to are Michael Faraday's, magnetic, tubes that he called them, and then Maxwell's dielectric tubes. So there's two fields that are being formed, and every time there's a current, these tubes are going to rotate, they're going to rotate in the opposite direction to each other. So the magnetic field is rotating clockwise, and the dielectric field is rotating counterclockwise. So the way this works is, if you utilize this correctly, your dielectric field will diverge. It will not go to a value. It will go into counter space. So what you're seeing is those rotating suns. You saw them disappear and then come back out on the other side. It is in counter space in this moment when you can't see it, when it disappears. And I'll throw up more pictures, but there's some formations that Eric Dollard got where you could see that there's a little like black thing in the middle that is everything else, you know, is surrounding, but there's this little black plane that Eric Dollard refers to as his neutral plane, and this is simply counter space. So in order to really understand counter space, the way I look at it is, so mathematically it's represented as 1 over a length dimension times 1 over a time dimension. So it's 1 per length per time. So if you look at that on a graph, like I said, it's diverging. It doesn't have a value. So it doesn't exist within our universe, within our dimension. So Eric Dollard claims, and I've done a lot of research on what he's claimed, and I believe he's right. So Eric Dollard says, so we look at these videos, right? And obviously they're creating miniature suns. And if you looked into the Sapphire Project, it's very interesting. The Sapphire Project people created a sun using plasma physics. They used a plasma reaction, and basically there's a mini sun inside of their lab, and they're trying to figure out how to use that sun, you know, to harness energy. So I think there's something to that. There's something about plasma physics. So Eric Dollard claims that, due to his research, he says that the sun is acting as a step-up transformer from another dimension. I'm going to say that again. The sun is acting as a step-up transformer from another dimension. So when you look inside of the sun, when you see those black spots in the middle, that is counter space. And I know this probably sounds crazy. I know everyone's probably thinking, oh, it's a gas experiment. No, it's not. That's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Because according to NASA, on their website, you can look this up, the middle of the sun is cooler. Like, you know, it's colder. It's not as warm as the outside of the sun. If it was a you know, a gaseous, a gaseous chemical reaction, the middle would be the hottest point. Yeah, but NASA says it's not. So right there, NASA's kind of admitting that the gas theory is bullshit. They don't fucking know what the sun is, all right? Definitely the sun was placed here by some other being. You know, some higher power placed that sun here, and they're using it to, you know, power our world. If you ever watch Rick and Morty, I hate to reference cartoons, but Rick and Morty is a good show, and the best episode of Rick and Morty, probably the best episode of television I've ever seen, was when Rick goes inside of his spaceship because his battery died, and he's got a universe of people working for him, and he's like, oh, these fucking people stopped working, they stopped making my power, I'm trying to harness energy off of them. You know, I mean, we can make a galaxy, so if we go farther with this technology, and if we advance this, you know, millions and millions of years, I'm sure we could do it too. So I think that's the truth, people. I really do. I really do. I really think that's the truth. Aliens are interdimensional, okay? Our creators are not from our dimension. Our 3D reality is a hoax. All right, so please consider the way you think about this world. All right, the world, don't believe mainstream science. Don't believe the published journals. It's all bullshit. It's all nihilistic, communist propaganda bullshit. They won't promote you if you're actually doing something real, something that will change the narrative. They don't want that out there. We're in communist territory. Nothing productive is going to get out there. So this is the way we need to start going, and people really need to start realizing, you know, how spiritual our universe is and how there's an abundance of energy all around us, and the way we think, the way we act, the way we feel will, you know, make this energy sort of react to that as well. So I'm referring to the law of manifestation, if anyone's ever heard of that, and it's true. It's really true. You know, the way you feel is gonna, you know, operate how the ether around you reacts, and you're gonna see it in your life. So if you cheer up, I guarantee you your life's gonna get better. All right. Anyway, I love y'all. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm sorry about the lack of uploading. I'm really busy with school, but stay tuned. There's some big stuff coming. All right. Peace out.